Good morning, everybody. It's Wonderful Wednesday. Are we excited? One step closer to the weekend. How do I sound over here on TikTok? Good morning, Maria. Do I sound okay? Can y'all hear me? Hey, Anvil. Good morning. Kimberly's here. So, y'all, this morning I'm back working on my county fair blanket. And we started working on this earlier this year. And such a beautiful purple. I don't know why I'm so drawn to purples this year, but I really feel them like calling to me. I don't know. Is that weird? Do you guys get like that? This is how we started in the center right here. And we're just working our way out. Now it's gotten kind of big, so it kind of fills up my lap. And we're working our way out. But you can kind of see how the texture is really starting to take shape now. The yarn that we're using this morning, I just love. It's super soft. It is the Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted Gradient. And this is the colorway Purple Tones. 360 yards. I get this from Premier. There's what it looks like in the center. It's like they call it a gradient, but to me it's like a perfect ombre. It starts from the light and then works out to that just delicious. Isn't it delicious, that purple? Mm-mm-mm. It is a 4-weight medium, and it calls for an I9. However, I am working with a H8 hook. I just found it worked a little better, I thought, for me personally. But normally I would recommend that you use the size recommended on the pattern. So the pattern that I'm doing today, y'all have seen me do this a number of times before. It is a Yarnspirations pattern. It was created by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. And y'all know I love Mikey. He has really been an inspiration to me. But this pattern is called the Study of Snow. Mikey has a full website. He also has a YouTube channel. If you're not following the Crochet Crowd on YouTube, you are definitely missing out. He made this originally with the Bernat blanket, which is a 6 bulky weight yarn. However, I have made this both with a 4-weight and also a baby weight yarn, and it is just fabulous. But it's a full written pattern. There are links on the link tree. Now, guys, you're probably going to have to scroll down on the link tree to find all the information because it's been a while since we worked on this. We're revisiting this pattern just because I need to do a little work on it. The part that I love about this is he included a diagram. Look at that. Y'all know how I love my diagrams because I can't read a pattern. So anyhow, I'm going to be explaining how we are working this pattern as I go along. Now, obviously, we started here at the very center and we're working our way up, and we've repeated this a couple times. So basically, when you get up here to the top, we're going to skip all the way back down here and then repeat. You just keep repeating in a circle. That's one of the reasons why I really love this pattern, is because once I get going with it, I don't even have to really read the pattern. But if you're a pattern reader, he's got all of those directions written up for you. This is the yarn again, if you all want to do a screenshot for those that were asking. This is the Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted Gradient, and this is the colorway Purple Tones. I got this off the Premier site. They also have pink tones, sky tones, which is like a baby blue. I've done a baby blanket with that. Yellow tones, I did a baby blanket with that as well. I have pink in my stash. I have the gray. I don't know if it's gray tones or black tones, but I have it's basically a light silvery gray that works its way out to black. I think I'm going to try to do a shawl, or not a shawl, a hexagon cardigan with that. So anyhow, we'll see, to be determined, but I have enough to do a cardigan. But this is just really, really pretty yarn. So let me move this to the side here and get myself set up here because we're going to resume on this blanket. So where we left off, this is a repeating pattern. And if we kind of, let me get this scrunched up so y'all can see this a little better. These are the sections that repeat. Okay, so you can see right here, this section is the same as this section that I just finished. This section right here with the little puff stitches is the same as this section here with the puff stitches. Now it's a little hard to see because it's gotten kind of big on screen. Here you can see it again. So basically you kind of make this center part, But here you can see that repeat again. Here's that same puff stitch. Here's that section that I just finished, and here is the other puff stitch. And the way that I need to work, the way that I do this yarn, I started with the very center, the light, and worked my way out to the dark. Then I inverted my roll. So I took it over to my yarn winder. This is how it comes, with the light out to the dark. And I rewound the whole thing and I put the dark into the middle. So now I'm working the dark out to the light. So I'm working it opposite. Jody, I'm not sure how many yards to do it with a 4 weight. I think it depends on the size. Now, if we look at Mikey's pattern, the way that it is written, his calls for an L11 hook. He used Bernat blanket, which is a 6 bulky weight. It's a really thick yarn, and it took 8 balls. Now uh, I purchased 6 skeins of this purple yarn. And 6 skeins. I can't do math this morning. Please don't ask me to do math, but y'all can do it. I have 6 that are 360, and hopefully that's enough. If I need to buy some more, I probably am going to have to, but we'll see. I'm just going to make kind of like a lap gown, kind of a little like Afghan for the couch. Now, one thing I did when I worked this pattern, I made it a little. Oh, I dropped my pattern. Hang on, I got to get this before the dog scarfs it up. He loves paper. He loves paper towels, napkins. Um, so anyhow, I totally lost track. I started, and instead of making this a square, I don't know if you guys can see, I kind of started with a rectangle here. So I'm trying to make mine a little more of a rectangle shape. So you can see here on my puff stitches, I had 1, 2, 3, 4. But this side over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The pattern is a rectangle when you start it, but I wanted, uh, or excuse me, a square. I kind of more wanted a rectangle shape. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So where did I leave off here? Okay, so here's where I'm at. And you can see how beautiful this is. So this was a crisscross, a half double, then a V-stitch, and then half double. You do little groups of 3. And then I just finished a double crochet. So if we look at our diagram, here's the crisscross. There's the half doubles. There's my little V-stitch. There's the half doubles, and there's the double crochet. So basically, I just ended this little section here. Now it tells me we're going to do a half post, a back post half double. That's what this is. And the reason why I know that is you come down here to your legend, and you see how this has the little curly Q at the bottom? Uh, and then it's got the little T on top, but it doesn't have a hatch mark. If it had this little hatch mark, then it would be a back post double crochet. So this one, you can see up here, it doesn't have the hatch mark, and this might be a little hard to see on screen, but you can see it has that little curly Q. So what that is telling me is I'm going to work this back post half double around this row of double crochets that I just made. And then I can look over here in the corner. The corner is going to have a chain of 2 with 1 half double. See how that one doesn't have a loop-de-loop? So the corners are going to be half double, uh, chain 2, and then half double. So again, here is the little oval. That tells you it's a chain. Here is the half double. See how it's the T? It doesn't have a hatch mark. So that's how I know what that is. So Mikey has a full tutorial of this on his page. There's a full video on his website. Um, if you want to see me making this, if you look back in the live replays on my YouTube, there is the video when we first started this blanket, and I think it was right around New Year's when we first started this. And so that's where you can find it. Okay, so here I'm going to start my corner, and I'm going to do the half double, chain 2, and now we're going to do the half double. And I know my yarn ball looks weird here. I'm repurposing this yarn out of a shawl that I started. that I didn't finish. Or actually, it was a cardigan that I started. Let me get some yarn out here. Okay. So now here are all of our double crochets that we did. So now what we need to do is a back post half double around each one of these stitches. And the way that we do this, we yarn over. I kind of hold my thumb here. I put my work forward and we look for the post. Now we're going to do a lot of these guys and I'll explain this in more detail. I grab up my loop and then I yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. So instead of working on the top of the stitch here, we're working around the post. So again, half double. Now I'm going to move to the next stitch, yarn over, put my work forward, look for the post, grab a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. As you start working these half doubles, what's going to happen is this line of stitches that we have here is going to like turn and start poking forward. You can see that right here. We're doing this exact same stitch that we did before. Once we get done with this round, then we're going to do these puff stitches. Somebody asked to see the center as a square. So the very center you do, I did a magic ring, but in this case he did a chain of 4. And then he did 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then he worked that around. So when you look at a diagram, guys, what you have to remember is this is like a slice of the rectangle. So you have to envision there's another piece here, there's another piece here, and there's another piece here. If he did all that, that would be a lot of um, stitches to have to display. So he's showing you 1/4 of this. So you have to make the assumption if it's 3 double crochets here, chain 2, then you're going to do 3 double crochets here, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, work your way all the way around. Then he did single crochets. That's what the little plus sign is. Another row of single crochets. And then he started right here. This stitch is the same as this one. So once we get done with basically this stitch I'm doing right here is the same as this, then you can see here we're going to start those puff stitches. So then I'll be working these stitches out again. But the very center, I essentially did it the same thing. I just added some extra double crochets. So here you can see 1, 2, 3. But instead, on the side of doing only 3 to make it a rectangle, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does that help? Hey, Desert Life, good morning. This pattern is the study of snow, and it's a Yarn Inspirations pattern, and it's by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. And there are links for this on the link tree, but we haven't done this pattern for a while, so you're probably going to have to scroll down on the link tree. I forgot to move it up to the top. I'm slacking on my job. I'm not feeling well this week, guys. I missed half day of work on Monday. And then yesterday I worked all day, but I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I'm a little congested this morning, and I'm just not feeling very good. So we'll see how long I last on the live today. If my voice starts to go, of course I'll have to come off. But we'll see how far I can get on the live this morning. It doesn't help that everything is blooming in our area, so we have lots of pollen and stuff. But I feel poorly. I don't feel like it's allergies. I feel sick. I feel like I got a little cold and it's starting to move down into my chest. So basically, again, uh, we're just working a row of half double, back post half doubles. But do you see how that line of texture is starting to pop forward as I do more of them? So again, we yarn over. I hold my thumb here, put my work forward, look for the post, slide your hook underneath the post, grab up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Paula, thank you so much for the heart me and supporting the team. I appreciate that. Again, yarn over, put your work forward, look for that post, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. Did you join the end of each row with a half double like he does in the video? No, I did not, Gen X. I the way that my grandma taught me and Mama Wheeler, I do it the same way that I learned when I was a kid. Basically, what she's asking is when he comes back around here, he joins with a half double here in the very corner. And I join with just a slip stitch and then work um, into the corner. Yeah, Mr. Wheeler is feeling better. He brings this crap home with him, and then he's feeling better and goes off to work, and then I'm under the weather. Jennifer, thank you so much for the lightning bolts this morning. Appreciate that. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? I feel like I've lost all track of time this week. Um, but yeah, he's feeling better. I'm not feeling like horrible. I'm still functioning. Trust me, guys. If I was feeling that bad, I would be in bed and I would not be on the live. But I just don't feel like 100%. I feel like a little congested. My nose is stuffy, and I'm sure you can kind of hear it in my voice. It's kind of gravelly a little probably today. Hey, Cindy. Good morning. Twinkie said, yes, it's Wednesday. Oh, good. I feel like I've lost all track of time this week. You guys get like that where all the days just kind of run together? All I know is I'm ready for the weekend already, and it's only Wednesday. So that's the way we're rolling over here. Hey, Jennifer. Good morning. This is going to be the blanket that I enter in the county fair this year. Our county fair typically takes place in October. And so I know I'm kind of ahead, but if I don't start thinking about my county fair entries this time of year, I'll tell you what, I will blink and it will be October and I won't have my you know what together to get it submitted. So I think this is going to be a really nice entry for the county fair. This purple, I call it the Regal purple. To me, I don't know. When you think like old time royalty, don't you think of like kings and queens and rich velvety purple? That's what I think of anyway. Twinkies, I'm from originally from Arizona. We moved to Alabama about 4 years ago, and I live in Northeast Alabama. So I'm starting to pick up some of the accent from here, but originally, like I said, I'm from Arizona. Now, my relatives, most of them, my grandparents, my grandma is her roots are in Kentucky. My grandpa's roots are in Arkansas. They came to Arizona. My grandma's mom had TB, and the doctor told her, you need to get out of this wet climate and go somewhere dry. So they came to Arizona, and then my grandpa's family also came to Arizona. That was like right around the Depression. I suspect they probably came looking for work and stuff, like so many of the Americans did in that time. And they lived there their whole lives. My mom, who you saw here on the live, Mama Wheeler, she was born and raised in Arizona and still spends half her time in Arizona. And I, of course, am an Arizona native. My husband was also born in Arizona. His family is all in Arizona, but Arizona has kind of changed a lot over the past few years. And we were just looking for a change. I was tired of living in the big city. I'm turning 50 in June. My husband's already 50. He's a couple years older than me, 1 year older than me. I don't know, couple, whatever. Um, and, for me, I couldn't see spending the rest of my life in Arizona. I wanted a place, as we are kind of later, getting later in life, right? Of course, we're not, I feel like we're middle aged, right? I just couldn't see myself retiring in Arizona and living out the rest of my life there. Now, there are parts of Arizona that are absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. I grew up in Prescott, and Prescott has an elevation of 6,000 feet. It's very similar to Denver. It's up in the pines, and it is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful place to live. However, it has changed a lot since I was a kid. When I was a kid, the population was about 15,000. The Tri-City area there now in Prescott Valley, Chino Valley, they call it the Tri-City area. Last I looked, it was upwards of 85,000 in the Prescott area. A lot of people have moved into that area. A lot of California folks have relocated and invested quite a bit into the properties and stuff there. And so the cost of housing in Prescott and the surrounding areas has just really skyrocketed. Um, the place where I grew up, there's little, what I consider very tiny cabins. It was kind of I grew up in the pines in the forest, traipsing around the forest. I'm kind of a bit of a country girl, if you all didn't know that. But some of those little cabins are less than 1,000 square feet, maybe 800, 950 square feet. They sit on maybe an eighth of an acre of land, and they're selling for upwards of $350,000. So if you have, a normal sized house, the place we bought here in Alabama is about 1,800, yeah, about 1,800 square feet. Um, we have a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. For me, that's kind of like what I need. I need my little craft room, I need my office. And we just got a lot more land. We have 8 acres. And it was, if I was to get 8 acres and an 1,800 square foot house in Arizona, I think I probably would have paid upwards of 800 to maybe even a million in Arizona. I really think that. The land prices and the housing prices have just absolutely skyrocketed. And so in Alabama, we got a lot more land, and um, I like the country feel of it. I feel more at peace here than I have pretty much my entire adult life. I did the whole big city rat race, get ahead, career, all that. And I still am a career gal, right? I still work full time. But I just couldn't see myself finishing out uh, the last part of my life living that way. And so we've kind of slowed it down a bit. Like I said, I do still work full time. But I'm focused on crochet and canning, and we have a small flock of chickens, and I have bird feeders, and the deer come in. And our little town we moved to has only like, I don't know, 1,500 people. It's very, very small. So, anyhow, that is kind of where I'm at right now. If you're just hopping on, the pattern that I'm making today is called the Study of Snow. It's worked in the round. You can see here where we started in the middle. We started this project back in January. This is going to be my project for the county fair. This project is by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. Now, when he did this pattern, you can see it has really fabulous textures. I don't know if you can see all that on screen. It's hard as it's getting bigger to kind of show it. Let me try to move it up a little bit. Can you see the fabulous texture? Isn't that beautiful? I really, really like this pattern, but this is called the Study of Snow. And this is he used Bernat blanket. So it's a Bernat pattern by Yarnspirations. You can find this pattern on their website. There's also links on my link tree, but you're going to have to scroll down because we did this in January. He used a L11 8 millimeter hook, and he used 8 balls. Now, the Bernat blanket is a 6 weight, super bulky yarn. I have done this with both a 4 weight and also a 3 weight, like baby yarn. So it works fine either any of these. Obviously, when he did it with the super bulky, it worked up a lot faster. But there is a full written pattern. Now you can find this pattern on his site. He has a website. You can also find it on the Yarnspiration site. He also has a full YouTube channel. He has over 1 million followers, and it's called The Crochet Crowd. So if you look right here, The Crochet Crowd is what you're looking for. If you put in The Crochet Crowd on your Google, everything's going to come up. And so it's a really, really cool pattern. The thing that I like about Mikey's patterns, and a lot of you all know this, I can't read patterns. Now, when I see this, I see want, 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 want. But what I absolutely love is he does a lot of diagrams. And Mikey has changed my crochet like trajectory, if you will. Because I can't read patterns. Um, I probably could if I spent some time with it. It's really something. My brain just doesn't think like that. I'm an audio person. I'm a visual person. This really like resonates with me. So where we're at right now, I'm working on this very last row of the repeat. Once you get done with this, we're going to hop down here and then we're going to start repeating this up. So the reason why I like this is I can sit on the couch and once I get the stitches done, I don't have to reference this. I can just look at what I did on the rows below and I know what to do. But of course I have this handy. So basically, once we get done with this, right now we're doing a back post half double. And that's what you can see right here. You can see that on the legend. See the little T with the curly Q at the bottom? That is what this stitch is right here. This is telling you that row 13 and row 4 are the same. So I'm not going to do this one and this one. I'm just going to come down here and then I'm going to start working my way up. So the next stitch that we're going to be doing, see that little like football shape? That is the puff stitch. So if we look at my work, you can see right here, see this back post right here, how that pops forward with the texture? That is what we're doing right now. This is where it continues up on top. Here is that puff stitch. And then it continues on. But that's how we're getting that fabulous texture. Now, the yarn that I'm using, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, it is the Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted Gradient. This is the colorway purple tones, and I get this from the Premier site, but it's definitely an ombre yarn, right? It starts out light in the middle, works its way out to the dark. So how I started this, I used the center of the skein. This is the light in the center, and I worked my way out to the dark. Okay, then what I did is I went over to my yarn winder and I took this skein of yarn and I rewound it and I put dark purple in the middle. Obviously, if you have a yarn bowl, you don't have to rewind it. You could just start at the outside and work your way in. So now I'm getting to the light. Now, once I get done with this light color, then I'm going to be working my way back out. So that's kind of where we're at. So what I'm doing right now, in the corners, we have a half double crochet, chain 2, half double crochet. Then I'm working a back post half double the entire way around. And what I do is I yarn over, I kind of hold my thumb here, put my work forward, and I look for the post and I go put my hook underneath that post. So my yarn is sitting on top of that. Then I yarn over and grab up a loop, and then I yarn over and I pull through all 3 of those. That is a half double. So normally when you work your crochet stitches, you work here. See the 2 bars on top? Instead, I'm working around the post. This is the legs, the post of the stitch. And by doing that, it is pushing this row forward. I don't know if that's really clear on screen, but do you see how that row of texture is forming? And then here's the top of my stitch. So next we're going to come back and then we'll start doing the puff stitches. But I still have uh, 3 sides to go around this. So this is going to take me a little bit here, but I would like to get to the puff stitches on the live. So some of these I'm going to kind of do a little quicker and then I will slow it down and I'll show you guys the stitches again, how I'm doing this, but I'm just repeating a back post half double into every stitch. And it's just really forming that fabulous row of texture. And guys, if you didn't hear, I have a bit of a cold this morning. So um, if my voice sounds a little weird, that's what's going on. Let's see. Jennifer, have a great day. Hopefully your work meetings are exciting and don't put you to sleep. I know some of those work meetings can be a little, ugh. But anyhow, I hope you have a great day. Heart Learning says, a lot of work going into that. Pretty. I hope you win a prize. Thank you so much. I have done well in the past few years at our county fair. I have entered last year. I don't remember how many I entered, but I entered a variety of stuff. And I did get the best of show last year for my market bag that I entered. And that was a really nice surprise. And the year before that, I did get the best of show. What was that blanket? That one was on my blanket. Oh, that was another Mikey pattern that I had done. That one was the spring green blanket that I did. You can see that on my TikTok. Um, I think there's a video of it, but that one was the study of texture that I did. And again, that was another Mikey at the Crochet Crowd pattern. Like I said, Mikey really changed my life. Now, Mikey doesn't know who I am from a hill of beans. I started watching the Crochet Crowd videos a few years ago. Really, when we moved to Alabama, I got more into my crocheting. And for years and years, a lot of you know this story, I worked on just granny squares. And I knew there was this other whole world of crochet out there. But because I couldn't read a pattern, I really had held myself back. And I plagued myself with all the reasons why I couldn't do something. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't read a pattern. I'll never be able to do that. And uh, I started watching Mikey's videos and I gained the confidence from Mikey to just try. I might not be successful, right? It might not work out. I might make mistakes. But in watching his videos, things started clicking for me. And, obviously the study of snow, I never knew how to make this pattern before, but I watched his tutorial. And that is why I say he changed my life. Now, I know Mikey's personality or something might not be for everybody, but what I think about nowadays is you need to find that person who inspires you, who you connect with. Maybe it's Robin Hooked by Robin. Maybe it's Bag a Day. Maybe it's Bella Coca. Maybe you have, some other person that you really enjoy watching and they inspire you and you click with them, right? It makes sense. It starts to resonate. And so that is kind of what inspired me to kind of branch out. And I put some stuff in the county fair, and it did well. And let me tell you, the folks in my area, they're talented. The amount of entries that are at our county fair and the quilting that is done here in Northeast Alabama is just amazing. The quilt that won Best of Show last year, it was breathtaking. It was done in Alabama, for those that are like into sports, right? Um, College football is big here in Alabama, and you've got Roll Tide, Alabama, and you've got Auburn, and they're always kind of at odds. And you're either a diehard Auburn fan, which is orange logo, or you've got Roll Tide, and I think mostly it's Roll Tide around where I'm at. But the entry that won the best of show for the quilts was a Roll Tide blanket. And the mascot for Alabama is an elephant. I'll tell you what, that blanket, it was absolutely breathtaking. She put a elephant embroidered on the very center, and then she worked the beautiful reds and grays and whites out from that. And it was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. Like, it was a showstopper, absolutely. Hey, Queen 530, good morning. No problem. Glad to have you here. Lauren, the pattern that I'm doing this morning is called The Study of Snow, and it's made by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. M, good evening. I think you must be on the other side of the pond. Where are you joining us from, M, this morning? That it's evening. Are you over in the UK? Glad to have you here. Oh, gift goal already met. Thank you all so much for the gifts this morning. I saw a lot of heart me's as well. Thank you for supporting the team. Really appreciate that. Sorry, I've been kind of rambling a little bit this morning, guys. Um, I'm not feeling 100%. I have a bit of a cold. So y'all have to forgive me today if I'm a little slow with the comments and everything. I'm just not firing on all cylinders this morning, I don't think. Shailene, how did you decide what to enter for the fair? You know, I just kind of do what calls to me. I had this purple yarn. Now, some of you watched me work with this purple yarn, and I thought I was going to make um, a cardigan. What are those cardigans called? You guys help me. I started with a cardigan, and I ended up ripping it all out. I don't know that I would wear purple like this. I wear a lot of black. And so I do want to try to make a cardigan just because I haven't made one before. But this yarn, you can see here's my cardigan that we started. We worked on this on a live. I'm ripping this out and I'm putting it into this blanket. So this is my skein of yarn I'm using. I'm literally tearing out these stitches as I'm reworking this. You guys aren't seeing this off camera, but that's what the yarn that I'm using. So I repurposed it. But I just thought that this purple would be really, really pretty. I love the ombre effect of it. I think the dark purple in it is just absolutely stunning. I love the contrast as it's like changing. And I really love the texture of this pattern. And I kind of thought the texture, I just thought it would be kind of really pretty as an entry. Now, last year's entry for my Afghan, a lot of you guys saw me work on that one, and that one did get the first place for the Afghans. And that one was the autumn mosaic blanket. You know, I had different inspiration for that one. I did kind of fall colors, and it turned out really, really pretty. I think I have videos for that one on my page as well. But yes, Shailene, there is a list. So a lot of times in your county, guys, there'll be a list, or I got a little booklet they sent me once I started contributing every year. But you can go on their website usually, and there's a list of what you can enter. So there's different categories. So last year I entered a baby blanket, a baby other, which was I did a amigurumi rattle. I did a hat, and that happened to be a baby hat, but there's a category for hats. There was a category for accessory. I entered my market bag in the accessory category, and that's what won the best of show. And then there is bedspread. I entered a bedspread also last year. I think I haven't even photographed that one, guys. Sorry. I had worked on that one a number of years, but it was really pretty. That one got first place as well. But there, you can see there's a video if you scroll back on my TikTok of all my county fair stuff. So I just kind of do what calls to me, but I kind of go by that list, Shailene. So if you're interested in participating in your county fair, our county fair is put on by the VFW. And so they do really good work in our area, and I like to contribute to my community. I don't do it for the ribbons. I like the fellowship. I grew up going to the county fair. I really enjoyed all of the exhibits and the animals, and we have a lot of animal entries and stuff in our area. So that's kind of, you know, I guess how I think about it. Mrs. B, good morning. Nana said it's lunchtime in the UK. Good morning or good afternoon, after lunch. Queen says it's okay. We love your stories. I know when I don't feel well, I think I do more stories and less crochet talking. Yes, thank you. A hexagon cardigan. So this was my original hexagon cardigan. It was looking really pretty, and I'm sure it would have turned out fabulous with this yarn. I think this yarn would be really pretty as a hexagon cardigan. I just saw myself making this and then never wearing it. And then I was like, what's the point if I make this? I could have gifted it, I suppose. And I do want to make a hexagon cardigan, but I want to use the gray yarn. I have this same gray yarn. So this one is the purple tones. This is the yarn, if you're just hopping on, that I'm using today. Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted Gradient. It starts with the light purple and then works its way out to the dark. So that is the yarn that I'm doing today. And I get that from Premier's site. They just do fabulous with their gradient. So here I am to the corner, guys, and I'll talk some more about these half doubles that I'm doing. But basically, right now I'm working a half double back post. Back post half double. You can see it kind of wraps around the front of the post there, and it's forming this fabulous line of texture. Now in the corner for this round, I'm doing a half double, chain two, and then half double. So now as I continue on this side, I'm going to be working the back post half double. The thing that I like with Mikey's patterns, I keep picking up my shipping receipt, or I got to get Maggie's package sent off. This is the row I'm working on right here, this one at the very top. So I'm on round 13. This is a repeating pattern. This is called the Study of Snow. After I get done with this half double, this arrow tells you I've got to come down here, and then I'm going to start this row of puff stitches. And I've already repeated this section a few times. So if we look at my blanket where I started, the puff stitch is really obvious. See that puff stitch right there? That is the first time. So right here, this puff stitch is this. Then we work our way up. Here's the repeat. You see the puff stitch again? So basically this shows you this is kind of the repeat. And I work my way up again. Here's that one puff stitch, but here's another one now in dark purple. And that's going to be our next stitch is the puff stitch. So you can see how it's kind of repeating. Shailene says, are there crochet categories at your fair? Yes, there are. So I recommend trying to find the website for your local county fair. There's also state fairs as well, and you can enter items in your state fair. The state fair for us, I assume, is down in Birmingham, but I don't know that for sure. It's kind of far for me to travel. I'll probably not do the state fair. But the county fair is over in Fort Payne, and I do like to participate. All of the folks there are really, really nice. And like I said, it's put on by the VFW. And so I just like to participate in my community events. And it gives me a good reason to kind of work on my crochet and then take it to the county fair. Nana said, I'm reworking a piece too. It's a loop scarf. Uh, yeah, there's nothing wrong with, some of you guys heard I'm reworking this. This started out as a cardigan that I didn't finish. I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it, and so I'm reworking it. Hey, Alicia, good morning. Angie, good morning. Um, Not everybody has a county fair, and some of them are earlier in the year. So Gen X says your fairs are probably in July or August. Uh, Shailene says we have a huge county fair here. I just never gave myself enough credit. It's rewarding, I think. Ours has cash prizes. I mean, it's not like I don't do it for the money or the kudos, but there is something really cool about seeing your work displayed. And I like to go and support all the other people as well. I think it's important for me personally. And this is why I come on the live, guys. I don't want crochet to go by the wayside in our world, right? I can't even say in our country because there's people that are watching me from all over the world this morning, not just in the US. Crochet can't be made by machines. And so I think it's important that we keep it going and pay it forward. And if I can come on the live, even as sick as I am, right? And maybe somebody sees this purple yarn today and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to have that purple yarn. It's fabulous. Or maybe you haven't crocheted in a while and I inspire you to pick up your hook like somebody has inspired me, right? I've talked a lot about Mikey this morning at the Crochet Crowd as he has inspired me on my crochet journey. Um, that's why I do it. Maybe somebody at the county fair. Maybe a little girl. I learned when I was 9 and I wanted to learn to crochet from my mom and my grandma. Maybe there's a little, 4-H girl that's down there at the county fair and she sees this blanket and she says to herself, "Man, I would love to learn how to do that, Mom. Could you get me the stuff to maybe do that?" Wouldn't that be cool? I don't know if that actually happens, but in my mind, that happens. And that's very rewarding for me to think that maybe my work, or like Shailene says, I don't give myself enough credit. You don't know who you're going to reach out and touch. You really don't. And so that's why I do it. And that's why I come on the live every morning to chat with you all and talk about crochet and try to spread some positive crochet energy. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea and personality, but I just try to be me. And so this yarn is incredibly soft, Lulu. I just it's a yarn that you just want to. It works up so nice. It's a pleasure to work with this yarn. I don't remember how much it cost. I don't remember how expensive it was. Seriously, save up and treat yourself because this yarn is fabulous. It's really, really beautiful. Kelly says it fosters a great sense of community. Absolutely, it really does. Um, uh, what stick are you doing? The pattern that I'm doing is the study of snow. This is the pattern that I'm doing. It's called The Study of Snow. It's by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. I think that's what your question. I think it auto corrected. But it's The Study of Snow. The yarn that I'm using calls for an I9 hook. This yarn, if you missed seeing it, is the Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted Gradient. Guys, I'm not affiliated with Premier, but I love this yarn. It's really nice and soft, and I'm really enjoying it. It has just fabulous colors, and I think the color changes on this are what makes it so spectacular. It's a little hard to see on screen because I've gotten it to a point where it's kind of large, but hopefully you can see kind of how those gradients are changing. Here's the really dark purple, and it works. It's just a smooth change. I've worked with other yarn. Like Lion Brand, not to bash on Lion Brand, I like Lion Brand, but some of their yarns, the cakes, their color changes are very abrupt. This, you don't see any color changes. It's just absolutely fabulous how they've done it. And I feel like this pattern by Mikey with all of the textures, it just really lends itself to this type of yarn. Now, he did this with a Bernat blanket, which is a bulky, it's a 6 weight yarn. The yarn I'm using today is a 4 weight. He used an L11 hook and it took 8 balls. Now, if you did this with a super bulky, it's going to look beautiful as well. And it will work up a lot faster. I've also done this with baby yarn, a 3 weight, and it worked up amazing as a baby blanket. The holes are, when you're doing a baby blanket, now this is a 4 weight, but the holes are not too big. And so it looks really pretty as a baby blanket as well. If you want to, kind of challenge yourself and maybe try something a little different. This is a fun pattern, and Mikey has a full tutorial, a full YouTube video on how to do this. And you can see where I started this blanket. We started this on the live. I think it was right after New Year's. So if you want to go back to my YouTube, if you're not following me on YouTube, my handle is Wheeler8Acres. Wheeler8Acres. And look back on the live tab. I think it was in January that we worked on this, but you'll see the pretty purple, and you'll see the video right away. It does have a lot of views on it. It's one of my more popular videos that we've done. The stitch that I'm doing right now is a back post half double. That is what is forming this amazing line of texture. The way that I do it, I yarn over. Normally you would work in the top of the stitch. So normally you would work under these 2 loops, right? That's how you are familiar with working it. What we're going to do for this, instead of in the top, we're going to work around the post. And the way I do it is I yarn over, I put my work forward, and I go underneath the post with my hook. Then I grab up a loop. Now I have 3 loops on my hook, and I yarn over and pull through all 3 of those. And that is your back post half double. So again, yarn over, put your work forward, go underneath the post. The post sits on top of your hook. Grab that loop, pull it up, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. So that is actually, if we put it forward, see those 2 loops there? that is where it's wrapping around the post, and it's just naturally pushing this stitch forward. Excuse me, guys. I don't know how much longer I'm going to last on the live. My voice is starting to go. I have a cold today, guys. I got kind of sick over the weekend, and Monday I only did half day of work. I was doing a little better yesterday, but today I'm just not feeling super great. So we'll see how it goes for tomorrow. I just might not be able to do the full amount of time. I really wanted to get to the puff stitch for this, but this now that I'm so far out on this blanket, it takes a lot longer to get all the way around. The first video that you can find over on my YouTube, this is where I started in the center. And so I talk about a lot of these stitches in a faster, and over on YouTube, you can rewind it and fast forward it and all of that. So it just works a little easier. But there is a full tutorial that Mikey has done on his page, the Crochet Crowd. Just look for the study of snow. You could even type in Google the study of snow, it'll come right up. And you can get the written pattern, and then you'll be able to find the video as well if you need a video tutorial. But there is a full written pattern and also a diagram. Now I'm looking at the diagram, but you can see here he has all of the abbreviations, and this is a very popular pattern. It's been one of his very successful. That's actually page 3 that I'm looking at, but page 2, it gives you all of the repeats. And as I mentioned before, the thing that I like about this pattern is the stitch that I'm doing right now is this stitch right here. So once I get more familiar and start doing this, I can just sit on my couch and repeat these rows up without having to look at my pattern. So right now, when I get done with this row, the next row is going to be this puff stitch. And then it goes back to doing another post stitch. This is a back post half double again. That's what's kind of putting that little section in that. Mama Carrie said she has made one. His patterns are wonderful, aren't they? I just love his stuff. Um, it's really nice. Known as this is going to be a full size Afghan, not like a bedspread size, but like a lap blanket size. And I'm going to enter this in our county fair in October this coming year. I have made this pattern with a baby blanket, and it works up fabulous. It's really nice. Hey, Victoria, good morning. Glad to have you here. Thank you all so much for all the taps on your screen. I really appreciate that. We've got 20 people watching over on YouTube. YouTube friends, thank you so much for being here. We've got upwards of 90 watching this morning over on TikTok. And anyhow, I hope you all are having a fabulous day. I'm sorry I'm not more perky today. Hopefully, by this weekend, I'll be feeling better. I am going to try to do my live as scheduled for tomorrow. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to last, but tomorrow I'm going to be doing a granny square, the modern granny square blanket. And I think that's what it's called. I made one for the first time the other day, and I really enjoyed it. Of course, I did it wheelchair size because that is my project for this year to make wheelchair blankets for donation. And I did it in a sunny yellow, and it just turned out super, super nice. I feel like I keep going off screen. I keep wandering forward. Let me pull my hands back. Sorry, y'all. It's amazing how your brain doesn't really work too well when you're sick. uh, this pattern, Naz, is called the study of snow. Study of snow, like the weather snow. This is what it looks like. It's a yarn inspiration pattern. This pattern you can find on Yarn Inspirations or on the Crochet Crowd. There's links for this on my link tree, but you're gonna have to scroll way down because I didn't update the link tree and pull it to the forward. But it's called the Study of Snow. If you want to do a screenshot, you could do that and then go look for it. What will be the finished dimensions? I'm hoping for something like a 50 by 60. And so I think that would be a good size. Stephanie, yes, I do have a Discord. It's Wheeler 8 Acres. Maybe mods, one of you, Anvil or Gen X, would you mind going over to YouTube and posting the link for the Discord for me on the chat, if you would be so kind? I think I updated it in my bio on YouTube, but I'm not sure. I can't remember if I did or not. I'll try to do that after the live. Um, Anyhow, guys, if you want to join the Discord, there are links on the link tree if you're watching on TikTok. The blanket that I'm doing tomorrow, this is what it's looking like. I made kind of a sample piece to show you all. I'm working with ombre yarn again. This is a different ombre, but this is the modern granny. Now, the way that I like to do this, a lot of people will do this with a chain right here, and I actually do a single crochet row. And so mine might be a little different than what you're accustomed to. And I will go over all of that tomorrow. But the yarn that I'm using tomorrow is a different yarn. It's also Premier. It's just yarn and it's ombre as well. This is a bigger skein, and this is in the colorway burgundy. But it's really pretty. Can you guys see the color on that? Um, so this is what I'm making tomorrow. If my health holds up, guys, I gotta make sure I'm taking care of myself as well. This is worked in a rectangle, and I'm going to make a wheelchair size of this. And so if you haven't made this in a rectangle, I will show you all how to do this. Most of the times this is worked in a square, and that's what I've seen it a lot. And so, um, yes, I do have some tutorials for these. Naz, if you go on my YouTube channel, my handle is Wheeler 8 Acres. When you're there on my profile, you'll see videos, shorts, and then you'll see a tab that says live. And that's what we're on this morning over on YouTube is live. But I republished the videos out. So we started this purple blanket that I'm making today on the live back in January. And you can find that video and rewatch it from the beginning. Of course, it's not like a tutorial format, okay? So it's not like a clinical, tutorial where I'm like, do this, do this, do this. It's like how I'm rambling and talking today. It's you've got my, kind of commentary piled in with it as I crochet. But when we first started this blanket, of course, we worked from the very center, and I explained all these stitches as we worked our way out. I'm pretty sure for that first video, I did the entire repeat. Okay, so that's what this is the repeat. You can see here is where the repeat is. So look for that on my Wheeler 8 Acres. Now, tomorrow, when I do this blanket, I'm going to start this from scratch. I know I've got this already made up. This is just an example. I'm going to start this from scratch, and I'm going to show you guys step by step how I do that rectangle and how I work that. Uh, Gen X, thank you so much for posting that on the Discord or on the YouTube. YouTube friends, you could try on my bio of my YouTube channel. I think the Discord link is one of them that's there with all my, Instagram and Facebook and all that. I will make sure that it is updated when I'm off the live today as well. Just sometimes with YouTube, it won't let you post the actual link. It's a little squirrely that way. Um, Somebody asked where I'm donating my blankets. So the reason why I'm making a lot of wheelchair blankets this year, for those that are not familiar, is I lost my father this past December. He passed away. He was 82, and my dad was an Army veteran. And he was very proud of the fact that his daughter made blankets for donation, and it was helping the vets. At the end, he spent a lot of time in the VA center. And at the end, he was in hospice at the VA. And so it's important to me to honor him this way this year. And so my goal is, and some days I'm better about this, but I start talking about it, I get a little teary because I did, he was a very special man. He was my dad. And I'm sick, so everything gets a little weird when you're sick. You know what I mean? Um, but I'm trying want to make one wheelchair blanket a month, and I'm donating these to part of Warm Up America. And Warm Up America um, also has links on their site to Sabre Healthcare. All of the links are on my link tree, guys, of where I donate my stuff to. But the blankets for the wheelchairs that I'm making are going to be going to Sabre Healthcare. And I have a bunch of them that I've made this year. I need to weave in the tails. I finished another one over the weekend. The Ocean Jewel blanket that I made on the live, the really pretty, like teal blue one. That one I finished. The Sunset Mai Tai, I've got about 5 more rows of that one. I was working on it Sunday, and yeah, Stephanie, I don't know how to make mods on my YouTube. I don't think I have enough to be able to do it yet. I think they have some restrictions in place because I've tried and I can't make any moderators yet. I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough followers or enough hours of watch time. There's something magical that happens when you get to 3,000 hours of watch time on YouTube, and I'm just not quite there yet. I know I have enough followers because I'm over 1,000 now on YouTube, but my YouTube channel is fairly new with crochet. I just started a few months ago because of all of the TikTok stuff that was happening. And so Gen X and Anvil, they try to help me out on the YouTube, but they're not real like assigned moderators. I don't know how to do it. So I'm hoping at some point it'll magically like appear and let me start doing that, that then they can actually like have the little wrench. I know exactly what you're talking about. But I can't do that yet. It's kind of weird. But Stephanie, if you want to just comment on one of my videos too, I can reply to your comment and send you the Discord link after I'm off the live. I just can't do it right now. I've got too many cameras and stuff in my face, if that's okay. I'll definitely get it for you. Um, Shailene, I'm gonna send the blankets in groups. So I figured once I get like 6 of them done, I'll just box them up. I still have to weave in the tails of some of them. I still have to wash them, and I still have to package them. I just have some clear cellophane bags that I'll put them in, and then I'll get those shipped off to Sabre Healthcare. The Sabre Healthcare list is on my link tree. Last count I saw, they needed 1,500 wheelchair blankets. Along with that, there is a whole column on the spreadsheet of them looking for shawls as well. So if you're looking for a smaller project, maybe not a blanket size, that you would like to do something good, you could, definitely make a shawl and send those. But there's other links on my link tree, like Project Linus, where you could send kids blankets. My kids' blankets give to my sister in law. They have a program. She works in Pensacola. She's a NICU nurse, and I sent, I don't know, like a dozen blankets down there last year to Pensacola for the families that are in the NICU. Sometimes they spend days, sometimes they spend weeks, sometimes they spend months in the NICU. And so it's just a little way to, help the family and maybe give them a little love while they're there and their baby is getting cared for. Wilbur is back. Wilbur, good morning. Glad to see you here this morning. Um, so anyhow, that's a little bit about why I'm making the wheelchair blankets. Now, this blanket that I'm working on today, we've had a lot of new people pop up, and I just wanted to say this is the blanket that I'm going to be entering in the county fair this year. Um, if I sound a little weird this morning, guys, I have been battling a cold all week, and Monday I missed half day of work. Today I'm feeling not that great. If I'm being honest, I just don't feel good. Um, and I, uh, I don't know how much longer I'm going to last on the live. I really wanted to get to the puff stitches, which is the next row. But the blanket that I'm making today is a pattern by the Crochet Crowd. It was designed by Mikey Selleck, and I know a lot of you are familiar with Mikey. He is a fabulous personality over on YouTube. He has a full channel. He has over 1 million followers on YouTube, and his channel is called The Crochet Crowd. The specific pattern that I'm doing is called the Study of Snow. and he has a full written pattern on his website. You can also find this pattern on the Yarnspiration site, along with a full YouTube tutorial on his page. Now, we first started this blanket back in January. So if we look, this is worked in the round. You can see here in the middle is where I started. And I explained all of these stitches as I worked my way out. As I've gotten a little farther out, it takes me longer to get all the way around the edge. But this is a repeating pattern. So if I pull this in a little bit, you can see here, this is the repeat. So do you see how there's this line of puff stitches here, and then here's puff stitches? So basically, I'm repeating this over and over again. You can see this section here is the same as this one. And right now I'm doing a back post half double crochet. I am setting myself up. The next row I'm going to be doing, and we're getting close here, is this row of puff stitches. And like I said, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this for much longer today, but I am very close here. So you can see I only have this much more to go, and then we're going to do the puff stitches. But I am following this pattern. He originally did it with a L11 hook, and he used Bernat blanket. Bernat blanket is a 6 super bulky. But this is what the pattern looks like. If you wanted to do a little screenshot, you can find this online. This is also on my link tree, but you have to kind of scroll down on the link tree. Like I said, I think we worked on this back in January. I may have pulled it up to the top of the link tree, but I can't remember if I did or not. The thing I like, this has all the written directions, but the thing I really love about this pattern is it has a diagram. And most of you know I can't read a pattern, but I love diagrams. And so we're actually on this row right here, row 13. As I get done, I'm going to pop back down here. This tells you this is the repeat. Okay, so row 13 and row 4 are the same. So this and this, I'm not going to do this again. This is this, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to start these puff stitches next. So you can see here in the corner, there are 2 double crochets, chain 2. Now remember, as you're looking at diagrams, this is only a quarter section of this diagram. Okay, so you have to remember, this is worked as a square. In your mind, picture another one of these over here, another one over here, and then another quadrant over here. So there's 4 total. So if you look down here in the middle where we first started, here is our chain of 4, or you could do a magic ring. And then we had 3 double crochets, chain 2. So remember, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, all the way around. And so each one of these, even though it's just showing a little slice of the pie, you got to do the rest of it. The way I know what these stitches are, so if we look up here, you can see it's a little T and it's got this little loop-de-loo at the bottom. I come over here to my legend, and do you see this T with the loop-de-loo? This tells me it's an HDCBP. That means half double crochet back post. And that is the stitch that I'm doing right now. Now, when I get to this next row, you can see this little football shape. You come over here, this tells you it's a puff stitch. So if you don't know how to do a puff stitch and you see this diagram, you could Google puff stitch or look on YouTube and you could find a video how to make that stitch. These little ovals right here are a chain stitch, okay? And you can see that's a little symbol. Now, one thing you'll notice is it's about the placement of these stitches. So do you see how the chain is right here? If I look below there, it lines up with this stitch. Same thing here. This chain lines up with this stitch. So what this is telling me is I'm going to, after I get done with my corner here, and I'll talk about the corner in a minute, I'm going to chain 1, skip 1. I'm going to skip this stitch. Into the next stitch is where I'm going to do my half double. Then I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, and then do another puff stitch. So that's what that's telling you. Chain 1, and you can see this stitch is skipped. Once we get over here to the corner, you can see you've got your little T-stitch, but it's got the hatch mark. Again, you come over here. Here's our double crochet. See the little hatch mark? So this tells me, see how these are floating out here in the chain of the row below? This tells me, sorry, my eyes skipped up there, two double crochets into this chain of the row below. Then I'm going to come over here and we're going to repeat that. So two double crochets, chain two, and then two double crochets. That is how you read a diagram. So let's put that into practical use. Obviously, I've got to finish my section here, so I'm going to talk through these stitches. I'm making back post half doubles. Normally when you work a crochet, you work under the two bars of the top of the stitch. What we're doing is we're actually not working there. We're working around the post. The post is the legs of the stitch that sits directly below it. And we're going to be working around that. So the way I do this is I wrap my yarn around, I put my work forward, I slide my hook underneath that post. Then I grab up a loop. Now I have 3 loops on my hook. I yarn over and pull through all 3. That is our back post half double. When you do that, you can see there's the top of the stitch. It pulls it forward. And you can see these 2 little bars here? That is where I worked around the post. So here, let's do a few more of them in slow motion. Um, Yarn over, put your work forward, go underneath the post, grab up a loop. Now we have 3, yarn over, pull through all 3. Again, yarn over, put your work forward, slide your hook under that post, grab up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over, put your work forward. Again, slide your hook under the post. The post is sitting on top of my hook. Grab up a loop, and then pull through all 3. Guys, I'm doing this overly dramatic so you can see how this stitch works. Once you get more practice with it, you don't have to be so dramatic with this stitch. I'm just trying to explain it for those that have not made it, how to actually, how it kind of works, right? The logistics of it. But like I said, once you get going with it, I don't like put my work so forward, right? As I'm doing this, I just kind of sneak it around back and out, and then I grab it. This will come with more fluid motion as you get more practice. And so anyhow, that's how I work my back post. And this is a back post half double crochet. This pattern that I'm making today is The Study of Snow, and it is by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. I really, really love this pattern. I've made so many of these blankets. I really enjoy them. I've done them in different weights, yarns, and so anyhow, it's just a fabulous pattern. So I'm coming up on the end here. Okay, here's my last stitch. As you can see in the corner, I go around behind again that post, and I do my last half double. Now I'm going to join with a slip stitch to my very first stitch, and I work my way into the corner. So we've now gone all the way around. Okay, so let me, I just saw a bunch of comments pop up here, guys. Let me go ahead and read through some of these. Guys, bear with me today. I'm under the weather. I'm not feeling well. Okay, so I know I'm a little raspy and I'm trying to keep up with everything. So anyhow, just bear with me here a little bit. The name of the pattern, Jackson, is called The Study of Snow, and it is by Mikey at the Crochet Crowd. If you want to do a screenshot, you can go find it. He has a website, and he also has a full YouTube channel. It is called The Crochet Crowd, and he has done a full YouTube tutorial of this pattern that I'm working on today. It's one of his most popular patterns. He did this with a Bernat blanket, number 6 super bulky yarn. Now I am doing a 4-weight yarn. You can see mine is in the color lavender, and it's kind of a darker purple. The yarn that I'm using today is Premier Everyday Worsted Gradient. And it starts with this light purple, and it works its way out to the dark. So when I started this blanket, you can see here in the middle, you can rewatch how I started this on my YouTube channel, Wheeler 8 Acres. I started in the very center of the ball and I worked my way out to the dark purple. So the dark purple is out here. You can see how this is changing colors to the dark. Then what I did is when I was ready to start my next skein, instead of working from the center, I worked from the outside at the dark purple, and I'm working my way into the lighter color. So now you can see we've worked through, I'm on my second ball of yarn here. Here's the lighter color. Once I get all the way done with the lighter color, I'm going to start my next ball here in the center, and I'm going to work out to the dark purple. Then I'm going to start with the dark and work my way back in. I have a total of 6 skeins of this yarn, but I'm going to make this like a lap blanket size. My yarn that I'm using calls for an I9 hook. However, today I'm using an H8 hook. And on my original video, I said I was using a G6 hook, and that is not correct. I'm using an H8 hook. I don't know if that's focusing. Sorry, guys, but H8 hook is what I'm using. Um, so anyhow, that is kind of what I've got on. Um, Sarah says, praying that you get well soon, April. Thank you so much. Thanks for bearing with me here, guys. I'm doing my very best this morning. Okay, so I do want to do some of these puff stitches before I hop off the live. I'm not going to make it the whole time. I don't know where I'm at on time. Naz, yes, you can do this design with DK or any yarn. I've done it with a 3-weight yarn. I've done it with a 4-weight yarn. Mikey did it with a 6 bulky weight. So really, it works fabulous for any yarn. I will tell you, as a baby blanket, it is stunning, absolutely stunning. That's a 3-weight, which I consider like a DK. So really, really pretty. I highly encourage you to try this pattern. It's really fun. I love the fact that it changes all these different rows. That's one of the things I like about Mikey's patterns is they keep me interested, right? It's not like I'm doing double crochets over and over and over and over again. You can see we're doing lots of different stitches. So we started out with double crochets. Then we did single crochet, back post half double. Now I'm getting ready to do this row right here, which is the puff stitch. Then you can see double crochet, another row of back post, crisscrosses. Then we did some half doubles, some V stitches, a variety of stitches. His patterns are so much fun. I really enjoy them. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Then I'm going to do this puff stitch. I'm going to skip 1 and chain 1. Then I'm going to do a puff stitch, and then I'm going to skip 1, chain 1, and I'm going to repeat that, okay? So into my corner right here, I'm going to start with a standing double crochet. Now you could do a chain of 3 here. You could do a stacked single, however you prefer, but it calls for a double crochet, and you need 2 of them. Then we're going to chain 2. Now back into this corner, we need 2 double crochets. Okay, so there's our corner, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now remember, as you're looking at crochet stitches, the top of your stitch, when you look at one, always sits to the right of the post. So if we look right here, this is the legs of my post right here. If I follow this up, new crocheter may make a mistake and think this is the top of your stitch. This is not. Sometimes this gets hidden. You got to pull this to the side. This stitch right here is actually my first stitch, okay? So this is the second stitch. The way that this is written, you'll remember it said skip 1 and do a chain 1. So I'm going to chain 1. That chain 1 counts as that stitch. Now into this stitch here, I'm going to do my puff stitch. And this is where I have to do some experimenting. I don't remember how many yarn overs I did here. Let's start with 3 and see if it looks the same. Okay, so I'm going to yarn over, go under both loops, grab up a loop. I pull this up kind of tall. Okay, I'm making a puff stitch. I'm going to yarn over, go under again, grab up another loop, yarn over, go under again and grab it up for the third time. I'm not finishing any of those stitches. So here's our starting loop. Here is 6 unfinished, total of 7. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Now I'm going to chain 1. That chain 1 counts for this stitch right here. Then I'm going to move to the next stitch and I'm going to repeat that puff stitch. And I'm going to do this again, yarn over 3 times. We're going to do a bunch of these, so don't stress out. You're going to see how all these are done. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 7 loops. Chain 1. That chain 1 locks it in, and it also counts for skipping this stitch. Okay, so then I'm going to move to the next stitch here, and I'm going to do another puff stitch. So again, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull it up nice and tall. We need a total of 3 times doing this. Here's number 2. Pull that up again, and then number 3. Pull that up. So now here's our starting loop. 2, 4, 6 extra loops, total of 7 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. Chain 1, that locks it in, and that actually also counts as our stitch that we're skipping right here. Move to the next, and then again another puff stitch. I'm doing 3 yarn overs. There's number 2 and number 3. Yarn over, pull through all 7 loops. Chain 1, lock it in. Also that counts for our skip, and then move to the next and do a puff stitch. 3 yarn overs. Okay, I need to take a minute now and just look at this and make sure this is matching our work of the row below. Okay, so here's our puff stitches. You can see here's our little chains in between. By doing this skipping of a stitch, this allows these to kind of stand apart. What I'm looking for is, it has been months since I worked on this pattern, guys. And I don't remember if I did 4 yarn overs here or if I did 3. And so I just want to kind of double check these puffs and see if I did enough. Excuse me. So there's our original. I think I did 3. I think that looks very close. What I'm doing is I'm comparing these 2 stitches. I think they look the same. If I took notes, it would probably make more sense to me as I come back and do work on these, but I'm horrible about taking notes. I guess I could go back and watch my own YouTube. That is one good thing about republishing out these videos, is it helps me to actually know what the heck I did. So anyhow, yes, the stitch always sits to the right. So if we look at this stitch here, this is the post. This is the top of the stitch here, right here. Not this one, this one. So it's always to the right. So here's the one I'm skipping. So now again, I'm going to do another puff stitch. So I yarn over, go under both those loops, grab up a loop, pull it up nice and tall. This will kind of slide back down. That's okay. Again, yarn over, go back down under those bars, pull up another loop. This is number 3. Sometimes puff stitches have more yarn overs. Does everybody understand what I mean when I say that? Here's 2, 4, 6. Here's our starting loop. Total of 7. Pull through all 7. Chain 1 to lock it in, and then that counts as our skip. Move to the next stitch here and puff stitch. So again, here's number 2, number 3 yarn over, and then yarn over and pull through all 7 of those loops. So what I mean by doing 3 yarn overs, sometimes with a puff stitch, you'll do more than 3. Okay, if you want this extra puffy, what you're going to do is you'll do more yarn overs, right? You may look at this. Here's number 2, 3. You may say, oh, I actually think I want 4 yarn overs, and then pull through all of them. That makes that stitch even puffier. Now, bear in mind, the more yarn overs that you do here, the more of a yarn eater that will be. This is what it looks like from the back. So you can see here's 3 and here's 4. Sometimes I've done, I think, as many as 5 yarn overs. So it just depends on your project and how you're doing it. Thank you so much for the gifts this morning. I see you all popping up on there. I really appreciate it. Um, let me get that reset. Um, uh, Sorry, I feel like I'm in slow mode today because I'm sick and I feel like my brain is not thinking. So hopefully I don't sound like a complete fool this morning on the live. And you all understand that I'm a little under the weather. So I don't know that I don't know if my dad said it or my husband says, but I'm not firing on all cylinders this morning, which is a car reference. But Kelly said, This place seems so nice. Kelly, if you're a new follower, we have a fabulous group of people here. And I have seen some new followers pop up this morning. My name is April, and I'm a hobby crocheter. I come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings. And as I mentioned, I'm feeling a little sick this morning. I've been sick all week. I just have a bit of a head cold. And so I feel like I'm a little fuzzy. You know what I mean? Uh, when you get a little sick and you're just not 100%. That's how I feel this morning. So, as I said, hopefully I'm making sense and not sounding like a complete fool. But y'all get it. Vika said, I don't know if I said that right. I apologize if I said your name wrong. Good morning. You sound great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Uh, but Kelly, as I was saying, this is not just about me. We have a fabulous group of people here. It's a wonderful little community. I started going live back in July 5th was my first time going live. I have crocheted for 40 years. I learned from my mom and my grandma. And Mama Wheeler is here on the live this morning. And she watches me from down in Florida and kind of helps with the chat here. Our moderators are Gen X and Anvil, and you see them popping up here on the chat. They are absolutely fabulous. How about a round of applause for our moderators? They help keep me on the right path every day and help to answer questions. I do try very hard to answer all the questions and comments as they come in. Some days on the live, the comments fly fast and furious, I'll tell you, and it's hard for me to keep up while explaining crochet stitches and everything. But we have a wonderful community, and the OGs that are here every day, they'll help to answer questions as well. We also have a Discord if you're interested in getting on the crochet chat server. The link is on the link tree. I'm not sure if it's working. I probably need to update it. This week has felt a little off for me with being sick, and so I do apologize. Hopefully, next week we'll be on track and I'll be feeling better. I am going to try to come on live tomorrow. I've scheduled to work on a modern granny blanket, and so that's what's on deck for tomorrow. I'll be back at 7:30 Central Time. And the blanket that I'm working on tomorrow looks like this. And I'm going to start this from the beginning. But this is a granny square blanket that's basically worked in the round, but it is a modern granny. And my link is expired. Stephanie on YouTube mentioned that. Okay, I will update the link. This is the yarn I'm using tomorrow. So 7:30 tomorrow. If all goes well with my health tonight, I will see you all tomorrow. Um, Anyhow, guys, I know a lot of you are enjoying this fabulous purple blanket. If you want to rewatch me make this from the beginning, you can find this over on my YouTube. We worked on this back in January, and it's called the Regal Purple. So you'll have to go to the live tab and look at for old live videos. But you'll be able to see where we started this from the very beginning. Okay, and you can rewatch it there. Now, I am making a rectangle blanket. The pattern actually calls for a square blanket. Wilbur, I am going to sign off just because I'm not feeling well, and Uh, Kelly, I'm sorry. I know I normally I stay on till 9:30, guys. I normally stay on for 2 hours. But if you'll forgive me this morning, I'm really not feeling good and I'm going to try to go lay down a little bit before I have to go to work. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be feeling better. I just have a bit of a cold and it's moving down into my chest. And so I feel like I need to go take care of myself and I'm going to take some Dayquil and just kind of snuggle up in my blankies. But I hope you all have a fabulous day. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to all the new followers, and thank you for those of you that are here every day. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.